Hello, I am Tusk Leopard. I am with Vex here.
Hello, everybody.
We are going to do a new podcast about Overwatch. Working titles Pod-Diff for now. We'll see what we're going to do.
We'll figure it out.
Hopefully, maybe not.
Or not.
I'll just go by Tusk, he goes by Vex. We'll make sure to link any of our Twitters, Twitches, YouTubes in the description of the video. And for this video, we're just going to talk about Overwatch's Season 5 update, League, Midseason Madness, some standings for teams, what we hope to see in the game and in the future, and hopefully what we hope for this podcast to accomplish. With that, is there anything you'd like to say?
We just want to bring like a positive voice to the community. There's a lot of down with this community. It's unfortunate. A lot of negativity. We're just kind of hoping to bring in a decent voice. I know there's plenty of people out there that they say their mind about it, and there's a lot of issues with the company and the game and stuff. But there's so much going on with it that's good. It'd be nice to actually highlight it.
Honestly, I agree with you. Especially, like, the internet just has a lot of negativity usually. It's a crazy place to be. The internet's bad.
It's awful. It's a bad place.
It's a bad place. Keep your kids away.
Yeah, I was gonna say, keep your kids on, please.
But we'll try our best to be the ray of your sunshine. Your positive diff.
Accountability is accountability. We all do agree on that. But even in the dark, there's light. We can shine something big happening. We can go into the first topic with the new update dropping actually today. As the time of recording, dating it a little bit. Lot of huge changes. No new character, unfortunately. Wait until next season. Big buffs, big nerfs. We can talk a little bit about it with Lifeweaver. Lifeweaver might maybe be playable now. Hopefully.
Yeah, this is Season 5, June 13th of Overwatch. But yeah, Lifeweaver was getting a lot of, first off, the Lifeweaver challenges are being added, can be unlocked by completing them, and, but he gets buffed basically everything if in the hero updates.
Except for what? I think his ult charge is slightly lowered.
Slightly lowered.
Or other than that,
Fucking.
everything else is a huge buff for him.
Yep. Here we go. I'll pull it up on main screen in a second. Here we go. Okay. So on the main screen I have the Lifeweaver. The general petal ornaments on his back have their size and hit volume reduced by 10%. Healing Blossom maximum healing increased from 65 to 75. Thorn Volley damage 5 to 6. Projectile radius 0.1 to 0.125. Ammo increase 60 70. Walkable pedal area increased by 15%. Area to trigger lift now shrinks from 2 to 0.75. Life grip reduced from 20 to 16 seconds. Target now heals for 50, which is a super good buff to me.
Huge buff.
I think it's the biggest thing we should truly needs. Life grip now is more than just a repositioning tool. It can be a life-saving moment in more than just niche situations. Tree life ultimate cost is increased by 8%.
Which is it's fine. You build it quick enough, regardless. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's a very heavily nerf at all. The real question is he still gonna be the worst support?
Probably.
Probably.
But I think he'll be playable.
Absolutely. Right now he feels very unplayable because he just doesn't provide enough. Especially with his kit being very, I don't want to say passive, just more defensive and repositioning based. Not very it's opposite of Ana. Ana's all about just getting to fight. While he's very much I'll stay at the fight, but I'll help you in every other way.
With his his buff to his thorns, I believe he will be a more offensive hero, being able to his healing numbers are not going to be good, but that's fine. They buffed what he can put out, but it's still not a huge change. He's not going to put out a lot, but I feel like the thorns itself could help him put out a lot more damage than what people are assuming. So he can be more of the kind of an off healer, help you reposition, and kind of just scrap type hero.
He needs it, honestly, because he needs something to make it. Because it's hard to justify that. Because at some point you're just going to compare him to Mercy if he doesn't have high damage numbers
Right.
or something like that. It's like, is he really doing everything?
You
like,
could have just played Mercy. You could have just played Kiriko.
Yeah, it did something more for me. Yeah, it's like, we'll see. It's also just people need to get used to playing with him. I think
Absolutely.
no one's played with him yet, and it's just like you can tell. It's like, why is he on my team?
It's a stigma thing. You pick them, and your team threaten. Like we
Threatens
talked about
to throw.
negativity, right? They're to throw, or they're done with the game, and I got tried because you picked a character instead of making it work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They let other things slide. Like if there's a Sim one trick on your team, a Bastion one trick on your team, the team will try to work around it because they're like, whatever's a one trick. But if you pick Lifeweaver, now you don't want to make it work.
Yeah.
Because he can win. He does have a low win rate, but even we're speaking on the majority rank. We're not, neither of us are top 500. We're speaking very majority here. He's winnable. We've all played games with a ball one trick, Symmetra one tricks that won't change, and we've won. It's winnable with him. I think the more people actually get to play him, the more play styles will spew out of it and actually have decent growth as a character.
I'm sure he'll do fine. This is honestly a good test of the waters to see, like, is this what he needs, or is this just going to be...
I could say they could have gave him a little more. The thing is, with I believe every new character should be broken to some extent so people can actually use them. They're trying to fine-tune them to fit them into the meta when they really should just over-tune them to make him be the meta, and then you kind of dial it back. I think it's always better to dial it back than dial up, because then you're playing catch-up.
Yeah.
And people are already like learning, like, oh, well, this isn't as important as this, so I'm just not going to use him. And you're like, okay, what if I boosted a little bit? You're like, still no. It's like, what are you offering, really?
Yeah. And what's bad is they've actually said that he if they keep buffing his healing numbers, he'll have the best healing in the game, if not already. It just doesn't seem like it. So it's like,
I honestly think it's the charge. It's the lower charge before you.
Bad.
It but it's almost the same as a Kiriko paper. The paper has to reach them.
Yeah, it does.
We'll see, right? We'll see. There's definitely other updates with this. Hogs got a huge. I don't know if it'll make him a decent tank still, because of Ana still lives and breathes.
But yeah, Roadhog, take a breather, now amplifies healing received by 50% for 2.5 seconds after finishing Take a Breather. I don't...
he still just feels like an old battery, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just an alt battery. It feels that way. Like, I don't think this fixes hard in any way that he needs it, because his damage numbers aren't touched, which I don't really think that's truly the worst thing about him. But his big weakness is still anti-heal and Junker Queen, and this does nothing against that. Maybe if they gave him a passive where anti only did, like, doesn't do 100% reduction, but like 75% reduction in healing, that would help him. But then, like, you can't keep everything. Like, hopefully the actual rework comes through for him sometime, and then we'll see how he does then. But right now, I think he's still going to be one of the worst tanks.
Being a big target with no movement abilities, no get out of jail option, like all the other tanks kind of have to some extent, either that or a shield.
Yeah.
You kind of feel dead in the waters. Unless you have a Kiriko hold your hand with Suzu, but even then...
That's his best ally too. Like, you have to have a Kiriko just to be...
You're putting a lot of resources into a tank.
Where you can just switch and not have to do that. Well, that also brings us to, like, Junker Queen with a number one tank this season, and probably next season.
The Junker Queen meta probably persists.
It's going to be... Ultimate cost has been increased by 15%. But we think about that as like, you know what? I never got worried when she died by the backline. She was going to ult. I got worried she was just going to kill me without it. So I don't really... She ults every other fight she ults. So this is going to be one every 3 fights, which I don't care. I'm okay with that. That needed. but that's honestly not the worst thing about her. And then temporary health reduced from 200 to 150. It matters. I think that's a bigger nerf than ultimate cost increase. But at the same time, as long as she keeps her heals, as long as she keeps her bleed effect,
You just keep that cycle going, and she's killable.
This is just keeping people out of the top echelons of Junker Queen. I still think people are going to see people as the best Junker Queens aren't going to be worried about it. The mid-level ones will be like, oh, that 50 health really could have helped. Yeah, but if you would have managed it better, it could have helped too. So I don't really too worried about it.
I'm still not too upset. I enjoy playing JQ. I don't mind playing against it. She can feel oppressive, but it's not. It still feels earned in some sense. If you get pulled by a knife, you're like, dang, that was a good knife. You know what I mean? You get sliced, you're like, I probably shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
Now, if your tank's not fighting their tank, it's really whatever. You know, everyone knows how this game's played, but it feels like a more.
I think everyone knows.
Yeah, you would assume. It feels. I don't want to say honest character because you get into a whole argument about honesty and kind of how you want to look at it. But she's fun, man. It's nice to have a newish character actually have some shine. I know we had the Kiriko meta. Kiriko's still good, depending on the rank you're looking at. Sojourn's playable. And JQ's standing at the top right now, and I'm okay with that.
For now, I'm okay with it. Right now, it's a little oppressive. I feel like at the very top ends, it could be super oppressive. But right now, mid-range, there's a lot of people that aren't really good with her still, and it's like, it's okay. A good, any other great tank can diff a good Junk Queen tank. So it's not like was the old Zarya or old Hog meta.
No, it's not. It's not a pick. I think we're in a JQ meta, but I think if you pick something else, it's not throwing.
Yeah,
you know what you pick.
Absolutely. It's not back when Hog was oppressive, where if you picked anything that's not Hog or Orisa.
Star Orisa was crazy, and then we had the Zarya meta where she just burned through everything. I think it's still a very counter pick meta, which is unfortunate. I don't think tank will ever get out of that just because it's 1 versus 1 at the end of the day. You're versus their tank, so of course they'll counter pick you, but. I think we're heading in a good spot with it.
Yep. I think that's all of our tanks for this update. Next up is, I'd say, it's Cassidy. Because I feel like Cassidy has the biggest changes. Because his magnetic grenade no longer has a maximum travel range of 10 meters. Which means you can throw that as far as you want.
Yeah, you can chunk it like a legitimate grenade.
Which is cool when you think about it. It's like, there's an actual grenade in this game now. That's super cool. But then you realize he literally can hit you from across the map. Like, this might suck. It magnetizes towards enemies a target from 1.5 meters away and chases them up to 1 second. Which, that's a lot of wording to just know. It magnetizes farther. Impact damage increased from 0 to 10. So it hits you for 10 damage if it magnetizes. But the explosion damage is reduced from 120 to 70, which is great because then it takes more than one shot to kill you, so it doesn't feel as punishing by far. It's much more, I wouldn't say a skill shot, it's just you aren't going to feel like you're dead immediately when you get stuck. No. Unless you're playing against a real good Cassidy. But at that point, you're going to feel dead against any super good player of any hero.
In the current meta, it felt like if you got stuck by the Cassidy grenade, you just stood still like it was a pulse bomb, right? You're like, all right, heading to respawn. But now, like you said, it's not. I wouldn't call it a skill shot by any means, but it feels a little less impactful while still being a meaningful ability.
Absolutely. The stuck enemies now have the movement slowed by 30%. That might matter.
That matters CC. A lot more than I think the damage itself.
Yeah, the soft CC for any character is gonna suck, especially someone that doesn't. The next one's also stuck targets are now altered by a new stats effect called Hinder, interrupting, preventing movement abilities from being activated. I.e., the people that would normally go against the Cassidy. Because the most previous meta was the Sombra / Tracer. And if what I'm reading is correct, that means Tracer most likely cannot blink, Sombra can't recall, and Reaper can't fade, Warrior can't fade, all these people are gonna just like have to survive that impact. It's a guaranteed hit now on a lot of characters for that grenade. That might be a big deal.
Do we know if Hinder works on ultimate abilities? What I mean by that is Doomfist ult, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you being stuck by the grenade stop a Doom from ulting?
Let's see what the developer comment for this one says. The overall goal is for magnetic grenade to shift its use from purely damage into more of utility and changes deployment behavior from a close range lock-on to more of an aim projectile that is magnetizes if it gets too close to an enemy target. The previous stuck banner text alert confused Tracer's pulse bomb message, so this mobility locking status effect is referred to as hindered. It doesn't say, but at the same time, I want to think deep down it's like any ult can like.
You would hope so,
this.
right? You would hope so, an ability would, but then said that with an Sombra hack, you kind of wonder how it will work. I think Doom will be able to get out of it. You would assume so.
Yeah,
But I guess time will tell here in a couple hours.
Yeah, we'll see. I do think it's a really good thing. I think a soft CC for Cassidy is probably what he needed the most.
I don't think soft CC is a bad thing at all, per se.
The hard CC really kills you because it makes you feel bad, but soft CC gives utility and like playmaking abilities, because not everyone's going to be a one shot. Not everyone's going to be like, at some point it's better to just have some utility, even if you can't like automatically just kill someone off the bat.
Speaking of one shots,
we got the
we have the nerfs to Widow.
Widow, best.
Happiest day of my life.
It's the best changes this season to me. Widowmaker.
Speaking of oppression,
oppression. Widow's Kiss. Scope shot damage fall off mid-max range reduced from 70 to 40 to 60 meters. And any good Widow is probably going to be outside of that range.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's good. Scope shot maximum damage fall off scalar increased from 30% to 50%. These changes to Widow's weapon fall off are intended to reduce her one-shot capabilities on map to extremely large sightlines, i.e. Circuit Royale. The average range to still eliminate a 200 health hero at charge is around 50 meters. A fully charged critical shot will still eliminate 150 health targets regardless of range, so basically just Tracer, which is whatever.
Right.
But that also, when you think about that, we have like May and Reaper who are 250 health. That's going to basically mean you can't headshot them almost half the time, ever. Because that's like one of Tracer, Reaper's worst things. He could TP in, but his head is always going to be the same spot. So it's like, best of luck, my guy.
Edgelord Reaper, love it.
And then we have.
Go ahead.
No. What are you gonna say about Widow?
I was just gonna complain about Widow and speak that.
I love it. I love Widow.
In the current, I do too. Sorry for all the Widow mains out there.
We love you, just not the character.
Yeah, I'm sure deep down there's somewhere at party it's good. Maybe you'll find somebody else to play. Speaking of just oppression as a character, playing against a smirked Widow, that's what the rank system has been as of late. You'll play against decent Smurfs, and you got the Uwu Pocket Mercy on the Widow, and every time you step out of spawn, your head's gone. So then you try to dive her, head's gone. You try to flank her, head's gone. So actually having where she has to play out of a comfort zone to actually get picks is going to make things a lot more exciting than she's sitting back. She's got her freaking lawn chair out. She's got a grilled cheese. She's hanging out. She's just picking people 1, 2, 3. She's going to actually have to be in the fight a little more. That's always been my one complaint with characters who don't have to be in the fight. It's kind of like, what are you even doing? But I guess we'll see going forward.
Yeah, I am worried about, because I'm glad these changes are happening, but I am still. But now this just brings up the idea of like, is there just gonna always be a Mercy for a Widow now, to make it a one-shot character again? Which I'm okay with that. That means it takes two slots of heroes, hero combination to one-shot me when it was actually just Widow one-shot me usually anyway. So I'm okay with it because it's still a sniper. I am okay with that as long as it's just Widow. But maybe this is a Widow Mercy meta. Maybe that's gonna be a new thing. We'll see. I don't know. But the other sniper this season, I think he's going to be much better. The Hanzo Sonic Arrow is getting some changes. So the impact sound effect now plays for enemies, so if they get hit, you now hear it, which is good. Visual effects now briefly visible to enemies when first deployed. So it's going to show you where it's been or hit. Maximum damage reduced from 125 to 120. This is for Stormbow. So that's just mainly just the Stormbow. Okay, the comment states that the Stormbow damage adjustment is small but significant change. So the heroes with 250 health won't be eliminated with one critical damage shot. We've also updated sound and visual for when Sonic Arrow initially lands to give nearby enemies more awareness that the ability was used. I'm okay with that. I think awareness of any of this stuff is what you want. Like, if he knows my location, it's nice to know that he knows. You know what I mean? Other than him,
it's just like a Widow Ult revealed type thing. I don't think it'll change as much as people think. I think the sound cue is important, but people still ego chow things.
Yep.
So I don't think it'll change that much. Same thing with the Sonic Air or the Storm Air. Excuse me. They say he won't be able to one shot. I don't know about you. I don't know how much times that you played, but if they don't drop with the first Storm Arrow, I let the rest go. They're still going to get hit with it. So I don't think his changes will be as drastic as Widow's, and I think he's definitely going to take the crown as the top sniper in the game.
For now, yeah. I think he's already good. I don't think these are actually strong enough nerfs to actually make him bad. The maximum damage is mainly just refers to just like the Widow, like it's just the 250 health targets.
And I appreciate that because there's a randomness to his shots, so that's what they're trying to prevent. Someone storm arrowing down mid, you walk out and you get hit. Yeah, exactly. So you have to play a little bit more calculated with it, but I don't think these changes will be anywhere near drastic enough to not see a Hanzo in your game.
Hanzo might be meta. We'll see. Why not, right?
Definitely a safe pick.
I can't see why it wouldn't be, especially would have been good now, and this not really.
He has no reason to be hindered by a grenade.
Yeah. Exactly. Actually, that brings up a good question I think about. Does his jump go away? Like his double tap A he jumps back. Does that go away because he's hindered?
I assume so. I don't know why it wouldn't.
We'll see. They have left a lot of the stuff open.
So does that change is Reinhardt pin? Can't move it?
That'd be so interesting. Because they just changed it
what if you stop it dead in its tracks? You're about to get pinned, you throw a grenade, you just dead stop.
Is hindered the best thing in the game now? Because they can do this?
It might be.
We'll see. Yeah,
Hinder's new sleep dart. You heard it here first.
It's better sleep dart. I like it. Hot takes. It could even be true. We don't know.
Come back here if we're right and tell us we're right.
Exactly. See.
Also send me $5 because I'm right.
Because he's right. Maybe. He's greedy. I'll take $1. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now let's go for we have a few more DPS players. May Endothermic Blaster.
Huge changes.
Yeah, big changes. Damage per second reduced from 100 to 55. Primary fire slow is no longer always 40% and now scares from 30% to 50%. Primary fire impacts now build up to a slowing effect that sticks to the enemy for 1.5 seconds and slows them for 75%. Secondary fire impacts can detonate this new slow effect, dealing an additional 40 damage. Okay, when I first read that, I didn't understand a damn thing it said. So I did some research, and so mainly what it looks like the combo is now is because once you have the slow on your primary fire from 30% to 50%, when it hits that 50%, you'll get a little glow on the enemy. It's gonna, I wouldn't say a ping, but you're gonna see a little bright glow on them pop up, and it's gonna apply that 1.5 seconds. That slows them for 75%, and that's the secondary fire, and it detonates on that effect for 40% of 40 damage. including the damage you do normally with your secondary fire. So the secondary fire damage plus the 40 damage on top of the slow is basically what it looks like the combo is now. Because you want to slow them with the primary until they max load, and then you detonate the 40 damage.
Which, it sounds terrifying, but in reality, she's not doing as much damage per second as she was before. So she's basically becoming more of a utility fight. Which is kind of scary because in my head, she's going to be able to set up a lot more walls. Characters are a lot easier to wall off if they're slowed. You slow somebody a little bit, you place the wall behind them, now they're stuck. Another character me and you spoke on before, we think will really be considered in the upcoming meta. Might even run some games. I don't know. I don't know how much the DPS cost will change the character itself.
Yeah, it's because to me, I've always seen this in Overwatch 2. I've seen Mei as a very much a pseudo tank quotation marks because she's very survivable. She has ice wall, ice block. She has the slow. This just adds more of that to the kit to me because her damage is never the she's going to kill me by herself. I'm worried about. I'm always worried about she's going to make me die because the team's going to jump on me when she's near me. That's the worry I have with her, and this to me just makes it worse. And I don't mean that in a bad way because I think this is kind of going to be super interesting to see because I think she's going to be worth a pick because now she's going to slow you more. She's going to have a burst damage option on you because you're not going to... Everyone's going to hit you. And as soon as she hits that slow on you, everyone's still already at you now. So she can hit you for additional damage there. She doesn't have to... I don't think this is actually... It decreases her damage on numbers, but I think in the game, it's going to basically mean that you're going to be the target for the team every time. If you're the Mei... I'm just going to follow whatever my Mei does. And if they slow somebody to the max, I'm just going to jump on them. That's just what I'm going to do now. Because it's why not? What is he going to do? Run away? No, he can't.
I think this sets up... Yeah, or the cat better sleep.
Better sleep.
I think this will give Maze a lot better chance to either A, like you said, be the pseudo tank, or B, it's a nice protection from flankers. Or a flanker, in a sense, that anybody that flanks. If the soldier hits the corner, the Junkrat hits the corner, anybody that might try to flank and get on a back line, them being called out, you know what I mean? Them being out of position is going to cost them everything. They used to be able to run away. Yes, you might hit them on an ice signal. You could zap them with the primary fire a little bit. This is going to make that impossible, even without an ice wall to block them, for them to get away. They are going to be slowed to death. You're literally the Reaper in this situation. You decide who dies. You're the point of attack if you want to be in the front line, pressing the tank, slowing him for your tank, or if you want to catch the soldier who got brave and tried to come behind you. I think this sets her up for such a good spot that going forward she'll be a top pick, at least in majority games. I can only speak on majority.
Absolutely, I think you're right. I mean, it's hard to because right now what I see as meta is depending on how hindered work for Casty Grenade, Mei because the slow is going to be fantastic. Soft CC is always valuable in any mobility game, and Hanzo because Hanzo's best sniper.
I would like to throw in the hat of Reaper because Reaper May's always been good. It's always been a good rundown comp, but now you add a slow. And it's like your Reaper's the dog on the leash. You freeze them, you let the dog off the leash, and...
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I hope Reaper's meta, because he's someone I love to play, but at the same time, with the changes of Wraith form, which means he can no longer be... Wraith form can no longer be activated while affected by mobility locking effects, aka Magnetic Grenade, Steel Trap, Graviton Surge, anything like that. And... I'm just going to throw in Moira with her fade. It's the same thing. Yep. We don't have to go through that. Moira and Reaper have the same adjustment where the fade cannot be activated when affected by mobility locking effects. So I think that might be the death trap for Reaper. And I don't mean I'm not worried about Steel Trap or Graviton Surge. I think that's okay. I don't think that's going to be a big deal.
I think an ultimate should be able to hold you in place.
Absolutely. I'm not
honestly.
worried. Any ultimate, I think, should outrank an ability by far.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just a fair thing. Magnetic Grenade might be bad because of the casty, like, being changed, and see how that goes. But at the same time, it's not a death sentence. It's like, you're not. He also is 250 health. It's not a death sentence automatically. He might be fine. That might. He's like, oh, I'm just gonna keep shooting you now, and if you can't kill me, I'm gonna kill you. Like, is that what's gonna happen now? It could mean nothing. It could mean something. I don't know.
I think it's gonna show, because Reaper's not the highest intellect character. You know what I mean? You don't have to be super
low
giga brain to do it.
Ceiling.
Yeah. So, but I'm wondering, is the higher skilled Reapers, if you pre-shift, if you pre-fade the nade and you dodge it, then he's out of options.
Yep.
Then you can try to take it to your wheelhouse, and then this is where, it's going to be a battle of two. You could have Hanzo Cassie versus May Reaper, and it's more like, can you hunt them down as May Reaper, or will they range you and stop you with the soft CC? I think this is going to be an interesting meta, and I really hope it equals to the Overwatch League level. I hope we actually see some shifts in meta, because I think this would be a crazy one of just like on the intellectual level of seeing, who's really got it.
Mm-hmm. I hope it does. There's one balance change we haven't talked about for the characters or heroes. Would you like to talk about this one?
This is
the pulse pistols spread increase by 15%.
Oh man, my heart. I would consider myself a Tracer main, but Tracer is she'll always be my little bundle of joy. I don't. It's not gonna kill her by any means of the word. She'll just be less accurate. I think she can still hound people. You just gotta get a little closer. You know what I mean? That's all it is. You'll probably get picked off a little more often. I still think she'll be the best flanker, depending on how they consider Genji coming up. And that we talked about soft CC, you get stuck with a grenade. It's like same thing of previous Sombra hack, Overwatch 1 Sombra hack. If you get hacked as a Tracer, you're dead. If you can't use your mobility as Tracer, you're dead. You only have, Tracer's up to 150 health, if I'm not mistaken?
Yep.
You get stuck. I don't think it's changing how good Tracer is, but I think you're definitely not near safe going into a Castier mace. You might have to consider switching going forward.
We'll see. She's been good for the past season. I mean, I don't hate it, but we'll see how it goes. The developer comment here states that we uncovered a bug that was setting Tracer's maximum weapon spread smaller than intended. We'll be monitoring the results of this one closely, as fixing it may be significantly impact on her overall effectiveness. So apparently there was a bug that was making it more like inward than it should be. Mm-hmm. So they said they're gonna be monitoring it. We'll see how it actually goes. I don't think this is gonna kill it as near as much as like Casty and May changes are going to go against her.
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with the meta shift. I'll say that. Absolutely. There's never anything wrong with the meta shift. Now it might hurt you if your wheelhouse characters aren't in the meta, but honestly, I think that's just a reason to try to get a little better at your characters. I'm not saying you throw my game, please don't, but you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, you can always get better.
Okay, so just since the hero updates we went through, I'm just going to go real fast to bring up some topics if you want to say anything about them. The weekly challenges requiring wins have been converted to complete games. Wins grant double progress, and the weekly challenges progress going to be carried over from week to week. So you're not going to reset per time unless you complete it. So that's good. The on-fire system returns.
Excited.
I hope it works good. It just depends on what they consider to be on fire. And then they have a new state called blazing, which is better than being on fire. They say blazing. What's better than being on fire? Being on more fire. The team's most exceptional playmaker begin blazing. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what makes me on fire, They also say it's been killing enemies that are on fire against fire, helping saves, mitigating damage, healing, assist, capturing, contesting object, boosted damage, and crowd control also fans the flames, which makes you on fire. We'll see what that actually means. What's the scoring? I do not know.
Just a nice little pat on the back from Overwatch players. Coming back is a nice thing. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change anything, but
a little bit of recognition.
It's a little exactly. You like to feel good about what you're doing.
Make me feel good, Overwatch. Tell me I'm doing a good job.
Exactly.
No, I don't need to hear I'm feeding, please.
No.
Matchmaking improvements. They have matchmaking improvements every season, though. What's this directly say? Narrow range of player skills. Tuning of the system. No, not be aggressive. Beginning of season. Continue tuning changes throughout the season, which they should be doing anyway. They'll try to place you into less wide skill ranges within the same match, which means that solo players will see a lower chance of being placed in those matches. Okay, so that's matchmaking bug fixes. That's a lot. They're gonna reset free-for-all MMR. They're gonna fully reset that this season because they're having their underlying issues, incorrect updates and stuff like that. They're just gonna reset it and fix it. Ranking activity, competitive missed heroes coming back, competitive bug fixes, aka MMR for queuing for their first competitive game. Okay, this is what it says. Improved how the matchmaker computes his initial skill estimation, aka MMR, for a player queuing for their first competitive game. So it's not going to queue you as high, hopefully. That's hopefully it. I believe that's all of the things. Besides just bug changes.
Typical stuff, typical update for the most part. Not a huge update for the new season. Everybody knows this was the PvE season, whatever.
We'll see.
We'll see. $15, please.
Hey, I mean, I'm okay with it. We'll have to see it in, because this season is gonna go what until August 10th, right?
Yeah.
So August 10th, the next season comes out, which they already are advertising for it, with the invasion, the PvE stuff like that coming to. Okay. So for this season though, we have the Join Tracer and her friends at Quest Watch.
Very excited.
The skins look nice. We don't have to go with the skins right now because a lot of them and they all look fantastic, and I don't even have them pulled up. The only one I want to point out is that the mythic skin for a Tracer. And how they're doing the battle pass is that you unlock the Tracer tier at 45 and so on 65 and 80. So you get different versions of it as you progress through, which I think is super cool.
I agree. It gives you something a little extra for working towards instead of you just getting it all at the end.
Yeah, you can slowly play it through. I really think that's a great idea they have.
I do too.
And I think they're doing a lot better skins this season, especially with the. I think the one the Demon Lord right now in what I got pulled up is the Griffin Orisa, the Genji, the Demon Lord Rhine, which I think is fantastic.
Really good.
It looks so good. The Quest Watch, from what I know, is going to be a prop hunt kind of thing. That's what they said in the video. Which. No, Quest Watch is actually going to be like
the
Quest Watch is going to be a progress the story kind of thing, like the battle pass. The Mischief and Magic will be the
prop hunt.
Thank you. But there's one more that returns this season. It's Fun in the Sun returns with the sports, which
summer event,
which is cool. I think that's all that we're getting this season. Is there anything I'm missing?
No. I think excited for another season of Overwatch. We're season 5, correct? Right?
This is going to season 5, yeah.
Season 5. We're gonna tough through it for the new hero, and we're excited for changes going forward.
Oh, just so we don't forget, they're going to be giving away free skins in game. The sprint into the in game for a Tracer, the Sprinter Tracer skin from July 4th or June 20th to 26th, and the July 4th to July 10th, you get the Sprinkles May legendary skin.
Some of you got it early.
Congratulations.
Got to be quick on the trigger. I'm proud of you.
We got on 30 minutes after it went off.
Yeah, wonderful. We did. I seen the post like 10 minutes after they announced it was fixed.
That's wonderful. I don't even have those skins. It's so sad.
I don't think I do either.
It's okay. But that's nice. You can also have, if you have Prime Gaming, you can log in free rewards. If you have any questions about Overwatch, you can always go to overwatch.com. They always have forums and stuff like that. Make your voice known. And then they just go into Overwatch 2 Invasion, which is the Overwatch Season 6. Which I'm glad they're giving the seasons an identity in Season 6 at least. And, I mean, this one seems like it has identity. They're just calling it
themes.
Season 5. Yeah, themes are nice. I think that's all I can say for this season, honestly.
Let's talk esports.
Esports, let's go. Yay.
Midseason Madness coming up.
Let me pull up a bracket. What are you excited for Midseason Madness?
I am very excited for the. I'm so happy it's in Korea. I'm glad they get to go over there because the fan base over there is huge. I think seeing the live events is going to be amazing. The crowds always come out and show out. They'll do their chants. You love to hear it. You get to hear it through broadcast. It's really exciting for us nerds. You know what I mean? And see some high quality Overwatch being played. I believe we'll still be playing on the current meta, correct?
I believe so. Yeah.
I don't think we'll see anything changes. It's really, it's gonna be one of two ways. It's either gonna be like a clean sweep for Atlanta Reign, or it's gonna be a bloodbath. I as much as I believe Atlanta Reign can run away with all of this, I believe any one of these 6 teams could come through and surprise everybody.
Yeah. This wasn't a like, oh, they got lucky to be there. Every single one of these teams truly earned their spot in Midseason Madness, and it was close. So these guys deserve, like, there's no, like, oh, they're going to be the first ones out. No, this is I don't know who could win even the first rounds. Like, you could tell me that Spark beats Mayhem, Spark goes on to beat Atlanta, and I could believe it because it's just that close. Like, technically the best in the West is Atlanta, and the best in the East is Infernal. That's, as you can see, I have the bracket pulled up on stream. Florida versus Spark is the first match, and it's Boston versus Houston, which those are going to be very, very close anyway. I don't even...
Slugfest.
It's...
Slugfest.
Mayhem plays a very... They have some great players on their teams, and they've been doing great all season. They have some losses here and there, but it's not a... You don't expect them to be bad. Spark does a great job in the East. I think they've done a great job the whole time. Boston, everyone said Boston was booming, but they're here. I mean,
Toronto boomed, it turned out.
Yeah.
Boston's still here.
Boston's still here. Toronto's so sad, but
yep, that was
it is what it is. Changes are being made. It is what it is.
I would rather see a team be reactive, or would it be proactive? I'd rather see a team be proactive than just idle. Like, yes, you could have stuck with the American Tornado team. And I have no issues with any of those people. They're all solid talent. I think someone will get picked up. I just don't think it was working. Sometimes it doesn't work.
It just wasn't their time.
In any sport, sometimes you put they had the American Tornado back their core years ago. That was years ago. It's not the same anymore. Meta's changed, and maybe they're not good in this meta. And instead of just kind of waiting around for their meta or waiting for it to be their turn, they're like, we need to figure this out. Plus, Toronto's had a track record of kind of pulling the plug a little early. It is what it is. It's esports. Let them, do what they want, and You know,
I, I, I. You said the
you
best
just
thing
wanted
about.
more for them, right?
That's all I
Them it
wanted.
felt they
I,
felt like the darlings, man. I
I,
had so much hope in
I
them.
wanted them to just
I
be.
love Kaluge. I think Speedly's very underrated. I just think he had such a tough year.
This was Team USA. This is for the World Cup, and
Thanks
this
for looking
was.
up, boys.
I mean, this is the week. This is the
Come
season for the
on,
challenges for Team
Super.
USA. I mean, this just they had a lot of. Yeah, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
I
I'll leave it
know.
up. It's okay. It's okay. Defiant
Hmm.
is working on it, and I believe they'll come back bigger
They'll
and
figure it
better.
out.
They're just a team of all stars, and sometimes that just doesn't work. But Houston has been great.
Houston's scary.
Houston's.
Houston's an absolute scary team.
I could see brackets with Houston winning this, and I believe it.
I have no dog in this race because as a shot fan, we'll pour one out for our dead homies. Uh, I would love nothing more to see a Houston Atlanta final. Now that would mean obviously one's going to drop into losers. I just think I think we'd get the best product there. Now at the end of the day, I'm just happy to see Overwatch,
Mhm.
but you got the best backline in the game, Chio and Fielder,
Mhm.
and then the second best backline in the game being Shu and Violet.
But they're so good. Every one of them so good. It could go anyway. I'm gonna be honest. I have Atlanta, Houston making to the end. I have,
Mm-hmm.
I, I have a pick'ems already done. Atlanta, Houston making to the win. I am actually a Mayhem fan. I still don't have them winning this because the backline of Atlanta and Houston is just so good with the tank. Like I think someone's fantastic on Mayhem, but I think backline's just better on Houston and Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad to say, but it is what it is. I think they're all deserve to be here, and I think they're all going to do a good job.
I don't think any of these. Now there might be some blowouts. We could be completely wrong,
Oh yeah,
but I
it
don't.
could be.
In
But,
any 3-0, I could still see being a close 3-0 where every game goes down to the wire.
mm-hmm.
Any one of these teams has a excuse me, sorry, has a chance of doing something great. Boston, we were talking about them earlier. Boston was booming. They got championship DNA in their veins, man. Smurf, in my opinion, is still the greatest tank, if not second. He's still in that conversation for sure. Decay always has that clutch factor. You put Bird Ring in there. I don't think Striker will play, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Uh, and then look at the pure numbers Twilight's been putting out, man.
it's a
Twilight
lot.
is a monster.
It's
Oh,
a
if he
lot.
keeps that up, it's one of those things like, yes, I would be shocked, but no, I wouldn't be shocked if they beat the Outlaws. You know what I mean?
Twilight's deserving of roaster, I'd say, by far.
He's best on in the league, question mark?
Could be. I ain't lying. RuPaul's fantastic,
RuPaul's great.
Twilight's up there too. Twilight's maybe the best. There's a lot of options here. A lot of
Mhm.
ain't one great play for one of these people could win them the round. Could just
And
move
they
them
all
to winners.
have they all have superstar potential, and I
Potential.
love it.
Mm.
You know, Florida's got someone checkmate. The Spark have Shy and Leave. Boston with Smurf, Twilight, Lee J. Gone, Izzyaki. I can go on for days. Houston has Fearless, Violet, Chew. Atlanta has Chio, Fielder. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Seoul have MM3 and
Zest,
Zest.
M3 and Zest are real good. Mag is actually not a bad tank. I don't think
No, he's not.
it's
They
it's.
put together a team that a lot of people thought were going to be top heavy,
Mm-hmm.
with it just being MM3 and Zest, but they have a competent roster.
Yeah, the back line wasn't as weak as people thought it was gonna be, and
Mm-hmm.
it's showing. They're doing a great job keeping everyone up there. Because Fixer and Skewed are actually pretty good at combo.
Mm-hmm.
I was amazed at how great they work well
They
together to
they'll
me.
never. They're not. They're not gonna blow you away by anything, but they play their role to the best of their ability. They're
Alright.
gonna do what they need to do, and they're gonna set their team up for the rest of it. And then you just need MM3 and Zest to play their way.
Yep.
Now they've been inconsistent. they've sold. The East has been in a weird place.
East is
They've bombed
weird.
up and down.
Yeah.
Contenders teams running rampant over there. Uh,
Hey,
but
it's been
it
entertaining.
just with any sports, right? It's just you need a lucky run. You need to catch fire at the right time, and you couldn't tell me any one of these six teams walks away with it.
You gotta be blazing, as they call it.
You have to be. Yeah, what's hotter than hot?
What's higher than being on fire? Blazing. But
It's the,
right now I have the standings pulled up. When it doesn't have the East, I'll make sure to go and look for the East standings for those two teams that we're talking about. But we have Atlanta win 8, lose 0. Houston wins 7, lose 1. Florida, Boston 6 wins each and 2 losses. Those are the top 4. Those are 4 that went on from the West into the Midseason Madness. 2 from the East came in. As you can see, it's actually was close for like Justice and Glads to actually get there. You can.
I thought Justice were gonna have a surprise run. Honestly, I think that team is they're an exciting team. They're not gonna win anything big, but you just like them, right?
Every time you see them, they feel like they get a little bit better, and that's good
they fight. That's what you love. Yeah, there's so many teams that kind of just like whatever, we're gonna do it. We're gonna go out there and play. This team comes out there and they fight. They definitely fight.
Just like if only we expected that. I mean, I'm glad they do it because they're entertaining. They're super good to watch, and you want to root for them because they try their best. Glads do something similar, and Titans do it too. So it's okay.
Shout out Sugar Free.
Sugar Free.
You have love on this podcast.
I promise we love you. My best. Aspire, love you too. Please.
Aspire's great. Love your hat, Crimson.
True. I like the hat. Then we have Toronto in 8th place, New York in 9th, and Shock in 10th. All with 3-5 records. It is what it is. They're all this is all great teams. That I've mentioned so far, ignore the bottom one, called Vegas. But I think they all put a lot of work into it. A lot of issues this season with some teams, but they did their best. And some are making changes, some are sticking to it. Because I hear Vancouver.
I think we're for a great second half of Overwatch.
I think Toronto could be some of the best, and Titans already said they're sticking with their team. And every time you see them, they get a little bit better, just like the Washington. So I think that's a good move for them. I don't know much about the rest of them making changes so far because there's still time, but we'll see. And of course, the worst 3 this season by the win-loss standards are the London Spitfire, 2 wins, 6 losses. Poor Backbone. We'll see. It gets better. It gets better. They're not terrible. They're much better than the Los Angeles Valiant and Vegas Eternal. Vegas Eternal is bad.
Not everybody can be the best, right? So you gotta have bad teams in a league. Unfortunately, I am shocked by London. I expected a lot more of them because how hard they came out and played last year. But I think the meta hasn't fit them, which is an excuse because they're all pro players. I do get that. But when you can't really play the rush down Rhine comp, and then now people said that the other teams have had a season to prepare for it, you kind of got to go back to the lab. I love Hottie, love Backbone. I think they got some good pieces over there, but it's kind of like you have to expand your wheelhouse a little bit just to.
They try to dig into what they're good at, and it just wasn't working. Sometimes. I think they're great guys. Every time they do an interview, they seem so nice and like it's truly like upsetting to see that they're just bottom 3, and it's just like, well, damn. And it hurts my feelings. But then you look at all the other teams, like these guys deserve to be here though. They work hard.
Yep.
We'll just see. Valiant does a good job. They haven't even won any. They're 0-8, just like Vegas is. I believe they've won a map, but they've never won an actual round.
That's tough.
Yeah.
And
to go in the same, to look the same as Vegas when Vegas is easily the worst team. The stats don't do them justice, honestly. Vegas isn't super bad, guys. They're just going out there because they know they're the worst team right now. They're going out there trying their best. It's like, we'll do this.
You can only go out and get reps in, right? The only thing is you try to learn every time you play. That's the best you can do.
Hey, we've seen at the towards the end. There's like, oh, they might get a match. Oh, someone's gonna give them their first map. Someone. I don't know who it is gonna be, and hopefully it's not gonna be our someone, but it's gonna be one person in this or one team. And
you never want to be the first win, right?
Everybody's now afraid. So because everyone's gonna go into Vegas being like, I don't want to be the first loss. I don't want to do that. I don't want to.
The thing is, when you're that down bad, every other team has everything to lose.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose. You're at the bottom. You know what I mean?
Go out there, have some fun, be like, we're gonna do the
Run
best.
some crazy comps. Like, I get it. You want to win. Go out there and surprise somebody.
Yep. Be the likable guys. People like you already. Just we'll see how it goes. Because right now, I don't actually think any of them are doing bad. I think Vulcan's not bad. Dove, Luke Mino, Rack Attack, Mouththrill. They're not bad individually.
They're good players, but when you have this much talent in the league, someone has to be bad, right?
Someone's got to be the worst. It's someone's always the bottom, and it happens to be this team.
And you hate it because they haven't been good in a little bit. Valiant haven't been good in a little bit. So, you know, I respect the fans out there that are sticking with them. I know it's tough. Everything's a cycle, though, right? Everyone have a time in the sun. You assume, you hope the league continues and does great things. So you want to see them maybe rotate around.
I hope so. We'll see how it actually goes, but I hope so. Do we have anything else we want to say about the league? I'm looking at the Spark and Soul right now for their try to find their win rate, but it's hard to find that.
I don't know why they don't make it easier, other than you have to go through and add up wins and losses.
Yeah.
I think we pretty much covered it. Outside, we just wish everybody the best of luck in the mid-season.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely have an episode covering it when it happens. Is it this coming weekend? Correct.
It's the 15th, so probably this coming weekend, I guess.
So we'll definitely come back and share our thoughts on it.
Absolutely.
Excited for some really good Overwatch.
It'd be nice.
Best of luck to everybody.
Yep. Best
Safe
of luck.
travels.
Okay, I think that concludes our. I don't have anything else to add to the podcast. Would you like to add anything? Any closing statements? Anything else you want to cover before we go forward?
It's sloppy, guys. We know we're going to do our best to make it better. This is something we want to try, and we hope people enjoy. We just want to be able to, share our mind a little bit, get some feedback from people who actually enjoy the game of Overwatch. Yes, it's okay to, crap on it when it's need be. But at the end of the day, it's a fun game. It's a beautiful universe that we need to appreciate a little bit. Yes, you're going to get mad. When you're in your 10th loss in a row, you're going to hate it. It's just what it is. It's a competitive game. I'm a very competitive person. I hate losing. But at the same time, enjoy it, man. I know the PvE got canceled. I know everything was, everybody was riding on that or this or that. And it's, at the end of the day, people are working hard on this. This game's beautiful. It's been beautiful since it came out. It won Game of the Year for a reason. It has an ambiance to it. It has a glow. You love this universe. You care about these characters. You might hate some, but they make you. They all built them in such a way where you feel about them one way or the other. So we appreciate you guys for listening. That's all I have to say, really, for our first episode. Thank you, guys.
I think I couldn't have said it better. It was wonderful to hear you speak. I love the positivity. I love everybody. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I am Tusk Leopard. This is Vex _here. What platforms can we find you?
Vex _here on Instagram and Twitch.
Wonderful. I'll make sure to leave links to. He has his own Twitch, and I'll make sure to leave his links out stuff in the description. And thank you for watching. Bye.
Love you.